So SCCM, to start with, SCCM stands for System Center Configuration Manager. The version that we are doing is 2012 R2. This is R2 version. Previous versions are SCCM started from a version of, and before that, before the history, let's understand what SCCM is. Guys, SCCM one-liner. So one-liner for one word for Active Directory is? One word for Active Directory.
User
Authentication. One word for DNS. Name resolution. So DNS is used for name resolution. Active Directory used for authentication. VMware used for virtualization. VMware used for Guys, one word for SCCM is deployment. So SCCM's main emphasis is on deployment. So it does deployments. It does deployment, but it does few types of deployment. So starting with, so it can deploy automatically. So first of all, you can deploy applications. Applications you can deploy, and in applications meaning software. What type of software? Any type of software. So you can deploy MSI files or executable files. So application meaning any type of software like MS Office, like WinZip, or any type of application. Whereas SCCM is also used for OS deployments. So OS deployment, and OS stands for operating system. And operating system, you can deploy any types of operating system from this Microsoft operating system. So here you can deploy Windows 7, Windows 8, servers 2008, 2012, and so on. So it can deploy operating system. So SCCM is used for deployment. Deployments can be application, deployments can be OS deployment. And other than this, SCCM is also used for security patch deployment, security updates, security update deployment, and there is a tool in Microsoft that is used for this purpose, and that tool is WSUS. That tool is WSUS, but SCCM does this. For now, all we need to understand that it is used for deployments. Now, the deployment, what type of deployments, guys? It is automatic deployments. So we can add a word here, automatic deployment. Now, why automatic deployment? Because you can deploy these manually as well. What is manual deployment? Manual deployment is you take a CD, insert it in a computer, and just run the setup. That is manual deployment. Automatic deployment is that you set up that application. So you set up that application, let's say this is an application. You set it up, you make a package and send that package to all these machines. They'll be automatically deployed. So this is what SCCM does. One word to remember is deployment. So it can deploy applications, OS, security updates, and few other things along with this. Yes? It is SCCM. It can be SCCM or it can be WSUS as well, because WSUS does the same thing. So, and later on, guys, the question here was, when you automatically deploy OS, so OS is sent there. If you can remember, in WSUS this happens. So you remember OS goes here and you have to press F12. So that F12 comes from either SCCM or WSUS. And later on, we're going to go into more details. Guys, so SCCM is for deployment. So what we are learning here in this course are deployment of applications or operating system or security patches. So this is one thing. Guys, second thing to remember here is that SCCM is a product of Microsoft. It is a product of Microsoft, and it belongs to a system center family. It belongs to a system center family. So there is a bigger product. It belongs to a system center family of products. So I will call it a family of products. Just like MS Office is a family of product as well. Just like MS Office, when anybody buys MS Office, How many other products would they get with this?
Excel,
So they can get Excel,
PowerPoint.
they can get Word, they can get PowerPoint, they can get
Word.
Access, they can get Outlook, and all these. So this is, you can say, MS Office is a suite of products. So MS Office being one name, and these products are part of this. Or you can just get an MS Word as well, right? So just like this, guys, Microsoft has another product chain, and that is known as System Center. And System Center has many products. System Center has many products. So System Center has these products. So System Center has something called CM. System Center has OM. System Center has SM. System Center has DPM. Now what are these products, guys? One of the products what we are working on, and that is CM. So SCCM. SCCM means SC stands for System Center, and then CM stands for Configuration Manager. So SCCM is one of the products here. Now let's see what are these products. As being a SCCM admin, guys, and being a SCCM admin in any organization, they expect from us that we should have some familiarity with these products as well. So if you are a SCCM expert, you must know these products to at least to their definition level. What these products are and what other products are involved. So here we have SCCM, and SCCM has other products. So first one, so I'm going to write them here. So here, System Center being the main product. And then under System Center, first one, let's see, is OM. And OM stands for Operations Manager. Operations Manager. So System Center has the first product that is known as Operations Manager. Second product is known as Services Manager. Services Manager. Third product is known as DPM, which is Data Protection Manager. This is SM. So DPM, and then with these products, there is another product known as CM, which is Configuration Manager. Other than this is called VMM, and that is Virtual Machine Manager. So Virtual Machine Manager. These are the products. So you have Operations Manager, you have Services Manager, you have DPM, Data Protection Manager, and you have Configuration Manager. This is the one that we are doing at the moment. So we're going to go into more depth, Configuration Manager, and this one is VMM, which is Virtual Machine Manager. As being a SCCM specialist or as being a SCCM admin, we need to know these products. We need to know these products, and those products are Operations Manager. Now I'm going to give you one word for each one of them so that it's easier to remember. So first of all, Operations Manager, one word is monitoring. Operations Manager's main purpose is monitoring your environment. So this one, we can say this is monitoring. This is used for monitoring. So how does it monitor? What does it monitor? So if you want to remember it from a diagram, it's easy. So all you need to do, for example, this is your environment. So this is our environment. We have, let's say, a DC, and then we have client machines here. So you have client machines or servers. So this is my 2008 server. This is my 2012 server. SCCM can also monitor clients, but mostly SCCM is used for servers monitoring. So this is your running environment. For now, there is no monitoring tool. What we are understanding? We are understanding Operations manager. What are we understanding?
Operations manager.
I can't hear everyone, guys.
Operations
Manager. We're understanding operations manager. And operations manager, one word is monitoring. It is used for monitoring the environment. Why do you need to know? Because sometimes in interviews they ask you, have you ever heard of SCOM or SCOM? So it makes up, the complete word is SCOM. SCOM, or they call it SCOM, or they call it SCOM. So SCOM it is from System Center family, and this family is from Microsoft product line. So it is from Microsoft product line. One word for SCOM, operations manager, it is a monitoring tool. Now in this environment there is no monitoring tool. If you need to monitor it, all you need to do is bring a new server in. So you would install a new server here, and this server will be server 2012. Just like SCCM, the same way how we build SCCM. So you will install a new server, and all you need to do, get a CD for SCOM. So you would install the SCOM inside, and then what happens, it will start, you install the monitoring product on this. So this is just a monitoring product. Now in order to monitor it, you must have SCOM agent on all of the machines. So these are SCOM agents. And what they do from time to time, they would just send out events to this server. And from this server, so it is collected. Does it make sense?
Yep.
So these servers are sending their events. So for example, this one is C drive is about to be full. So C drive reached 90%. So it would send an event to SCOM server, and main purpose of a SCOM server is that it would send an email to the admin, to your system admin, to you actually. So it will send an email that please go ahead and check this server and fix the C drive. Now guys, you might see that, oh, what is the advantage of this? Because there are just 3 servers. Guys, think of 3,000 servers. You have 6,000 servers in Rogers. You have more than 8,000 servers in RBC or BMO. These banks now have huge number of servers. So what happening, this is, SCOM has the ability to monitor your 8,000 servers 24/7, 365. Now there is no human who can monitor it in such a great sensitivity. Guys, if any company is thinking of deploying SCOM, SCOM is not a simple product. SCOM requires SCOM admins. If you ever need to think of becoming a SCOM admin, SCOM is, so all these products are totally different. This is totally a different product. This is totally a different product. This one, all of them. Here, there is a huge gap in the market. You won't find SCOM admins. So if ever, once you start working in the environment as a system admin, you can think of specializing this person, specializing SCOM admin later on. So there is a huge gap. There are not many SCOM admins. If you're a real SCOM admin, you can easily get into 80 per hour plus above. So these are small little gaps. These are those small little gaps that you can fill. So your question?
Yeah, is the monitoring storage RAM or the memory?
It is monitoring everything end to end. It is monitoring from operating system to hardware to everything, to each and everything within the server. So it requires complete its own infrastructure. Yes.
Just the servers or the client?
It can monitor the client as well. So SCOM can monitor the client. Mostly it is used in many organizations just to monitor the server. So I was involved in one of the projects where we were monitoring the clients. We were monitoring some clients, not all of the clients. Because guys, there is a licensing cost from Microsoft that is attached to each client. So you can think of IBM being, or maybe BMO having 8,000 servers. 8,000 servers. What do you think? How many clients they would have? More than 60,000. So for that reason, if they start monitoring 60,000 clients, there is no need, but SCOM can monitor it. Guys, here at this point, the only thing I want you to remember, and I want you to have this in your profiles, that you know SCOM, you have worked with a team that was working with SCOM, and the only thing I want you to remember here is this diagram and this one word. Now there is a huge difference in knowing something and not knowing something. They ask you in an interview, have you ever been in an environment where, or do you have any idea what SCOM is? You would say, no, I have no idea. Or you would say, yes, I have a bit of a idea. It's a monitoring tool, it's a server, and then there are agents and they work together. Based on this quick thing, on top of this, if just before the interview, you just watch one YouTube, you can at least answer just few little questions. Now you have to be honest with them. You know what? I'm not a SCOM specialist, but I have some idea. I know that how it's a monitoring tool, and I'm a quick learner. If given a chance, I can learn it. I'm a fast learner. So stuff like that. So at this point, I just want you to remember few things here. One is SCOM is part of System Center tool, same family which System Configuration Manager is part of. So same family. So, and then main purpose of SCOM is monitoring your environment. In order to monitor the environment, you have to have a SCOM server, and you have to have the monitoring, the agent, and agent sends out alert. So even in this, you need to just remember three things here. Number one, SCOM server itself. Number two, the agent. Number three, notification. So if you can remember these three things, this quick process that in a SCOM environment, you have a SCOM server, and then there are SCOM agents sitting on each machine. These agents send out notification as soon as something is about to happen. So it could be C drive reaching 80%, it could be RAM reaching 90%, it could be hardware failure, complete NIC is not available, or it could be anything. So it sends out those notifications here, and SCOM's responsibility is to send out an email. So it sends out an email to the admin saying, oh, watch it, something is about to crash. So basically SCOM is doing proactive monitoring. If you don't have SCOM, then your network is always at risk. But then your question is there only SCOM or is there any other competitor? Guys, there is a huge competitor of SCOM which is from IBM. And the same thing that what this does is done by Tivoli. Tivoli is a IBM monitoring tool.
So which one is user friendly?
Of course,
Windows?
I don't have to answer. Of course, Windows. Windows is user friendly. It is, although it's a user friendly, but it's a complex product, guys. I don't want you to remember huge big details, because for SCOM it's a complete product in itself. So here, but I want you to remember here, and whatever you're writing in notes, guys, I'm gonna take. So next week there will be a test of every week from now on, and I want you to remember these keywords, just the keywords. Okay, so which means at any point in time you see that in job description Tivoli IBM. So Tivoli it is a monitoring product, and this is SCOM. So the first product that we saw is SCOM. Yes.
Can you repeat the steps 1, 2, and 3?
Yes. In order to have SCOM in your environment, in order to monitor anything, so let's look at this. These are all my server, I need to monitor them. So first of all, I would bring a new server, install SCOM inside, just like you installed vCenter, remember? vCenter, you brought a CD and so you would install SCOM, and SCOM itself can't do anything. It cannot do anything unless you have agents on these machines. So secondly, first bring a SCOM, secondly bring agents in all of them, and then as soon as it starts, now between start working and installation there is huge stuff, so we don't know. You have to be honest, we don't know this. But the way it works is that these all machines will start sending alerts to this server. So on this server C drive is full, on that server RAM is full, on that server it's heating up, on this server it's hardware failure, and all those things it is going here. Main purpose is notifications. So this server will start notifying you as an admin, oh, this server had that issue, that server, and this is where ticketing system comes in. So ticketing system is basically fed from SCOM. So that's the main thing. Yes.
Does the agent is there any limitation on the agents? How many servers you're sending it to?
No.
It's just something, okay.
You had a question? Comment?
Anything different is now IBM owned, so the new name for all the product starting with the I. So it's actively monitoring is called now ITM.
ITM, yes.
And same with the actively endpoint manager for the managing all that's called ITM.
Yes, a good comment. So what Amit is mentioning, that Tivoli is now upgraded to ITM. This is called ITM. So ITM, just remember these words here. And even this is upgraded too. This is upgraded to it is called something deployment, newer, like a robotic system. But this is good to remember. ITM or Tivoli, they are all monitoring products. So guys, here SCOM, and SCOM is, OM stands for Operations Manager. It is Operations Manager. One word to remember is monitoring. It is monitoring. Guys, the second product is Service Manager. And Service Manager is also owned by, it is part of System Center, part of Microsoft. Guys, one word for this is, it is a service desk solution. It's a service desk solution. Service desk solution that includes ticketing system, ticketing and change management system. Change management system. So it's a ticketing system. So if you have ever seen a ticketing system where tickets are generated and people start working on those tickets, this is a Microsoft owned product. Now, it is the first time Microsoft introduced this product in 2012. It was not available before 2012. Before 2012, 2008, it was not there, and here it is available now. Guys, previous name of SCOM is a very sweet name. Huh? It's better than mithai.
Apu.
It's better than mithai. So that name is
Oh.
Mom. Is it better than mithai?
Yes.
So Mom. Guys, Mom stands for Microsoft Operations Manager. It's the previous name of SCOM. So previous, if you ever see Mom anywhere, Mom is now upgraded to SCOM. So you can remember this was Microsoft Operations Manager. And same thing, what Mom does in real life, monitoring, it does monitoring. So it does monitoring, guys, service desk. Now let's see the relationship between SCOM and service desk. Guys, it's very simple. Whatever tickets, whatever notifications that are being generated, they are being sent to a service desk. So here C drive is full, you would see a server name saying server 1, C drive full, and the ticket is sent to system admin. And then server 2 RAM issue. Server 3 hardware issue. So it's just a ticketing system. Now it is fed by products like SCOM. So it might not be this product. There are many other products like Service Desk. For example, HP OpenView is one of them. For example, there is Event Viewer is one of them. There is ISM is one of them. So many products. So guys, main purpose of Service Manager is Service Desk or Help Desk. Now, not many companies are using it, but wherever you see System Center, and there is a big reason why do we need to know these products before SCCM. Guys, the reason is that in all these companies, what, Porsche?
नहीं उसे जहाज देखो
Jahaz has a different definition in Pakistan, you know that?
Yeah.
सब पानी वाला उड़ने वाला दोनों मिलते हैं
Here guys, here, so please, here. Guys, there is a reason why we are going through this. Guys, the reason is that before SCCM or before System Center, before this product, all these products used to be separate products. But now Microsoft is selling these products in with one license. So you get one license of System Center and you will get all of them. And for that reason, since company will get, if this, so company would go to Microsoft saying, oh, I need SCCM. And they would say, no, there is no separate license for SCCM. You need to buy one license of a System Center. And once they get System Center, guys, they automatically get this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So this kind of tempts them to start using these products, because they must be monitoring with another product. So they would see, oh, since I have this, why should I not start using this? So as being a system admin of SCCM, you should have at least definition level understanding of this. So first one was SCCM, second one was service desk, third one is data protection manager. And one word for data protection manager is backups and restores. Backups and restore product. Now this product is a backup and restore product. So just like Windows Server backup in Windows, this DPM, which is known as SCDPM. SCDPM is an enterprise level backup product from Microsoft. So this is enterprise level backup product. It is enterprise level backup product. So this product, with this product you can back up your complete environment. Now before this Microsoft did not have this enterprise level backup product. Before it was just a simple, before this it was just a free version that comes in all machines. Have you ever used Windows Server backup? Have you ever used Windows Server backup? Windows Server backup is one of the features within all servers. So now that is just part of this. So if companies need a professional solution that can back up your complete environment, they can buy the SCDPM. They can get a SCDPM. Now the way it works is, it's very simple. So you have your running environment here, and SCCM is monitoring. You have DC domain controller working. You have servers being monitored. And then now your company says, oh, we need to back up this environment. And is backup important? Are they important for companies?
Yes.
Backups are important for companies, very, very important. Because you never know when disaster can hit you, and then you'll have to restore stuff. So all you need to do in this environment, you would install a new server. And on this server, this will be server 2012. This is server 20. Now I'm giving you just a quick components of this. All you need server 2012, and then you would get a CD for DPM, which is SCDPM. You install that CD. Now the software is now sitting here, and all you need to do is that on all of the machines you have, you don't have to install a new agent. They already have the agent. So they already have that agent, and that agent is known as Windows. It is known as a backup agent, Windows backup agent. And this agent is already there on all Windows machines. You don't have to install them separately. So with this backup agent, but I made it separately because it's a separate agent. And this agent is basically working for SCDPM. And the main function is, what is the main function? All you need to do is to create a job here. So job is, go create a, so job is this, server 1, backup of C drive and D drive. It will start from 1 a.m. It will end, it should be taken from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day, and it should be a full backup. This is known as a job. So you created a job here, and job will be sitting on this, and at 8 a.m. automatically a job runs on a DPM server. It will go to server 1 and take the complete backup, and it will back this up in some disk. So this is how DPM works. This is how all backup works, guys. If you have ever worked on any backup technology, they all work in this exactly the same manner. So DPM, number 1. DPM stands for Data Protection Manager. Data Protection Manager, one word for this is backups and restore. It's an enterprise level backup product. And then how do you work with this? All you need to do, create a new server, number 1. Number 2, here you have, make sure the agent, backup agent is working on all machines. So backup agent is working on all machines, second. And third, create a job. So create a job. As soon as job runs, it will back up your environment and send you So from here, the backup, you will get a notification to the admin. So this is your admin, and a notification is sent to you by email that job is completed successfully. Job complete. That 4 points you need to remember in this. For DPM, install the server, make sure backup agents are here, schedule a job, and then as soon as the job is scheduled, it will automatically run. Go take the backup. Once it is done, it will send a notification to system admin. Okay, so third product. Third product for System Center family is DPM. DPM stands for Data Protection Manager. One word is backup and restore, and then it's an enterprise backup tool from Microsoft. Now, this brings to our chief guest. Our chief guest of today is SCCM. Guys, in here, I'm going to go into more detail. I need a full whiteboard for this. But here, just quick one-liners, just quick few words here. So first one is, it is useful. So the complete word is SCCM. Some places it is known as CM. So some documentation, they also call it CM. In some documentation, this is also known as CFG, MGR. It is also written in this manner as well, CMG, MGR, Configuration Manager. So main thing is, it is SCCM. So SCCM, it is more famous for SCCM. Some places it is known as just CM or Configuration Manager. And with Configuration Manager, they would say something like this. And one word for this is deployment. It is deployment of what? Deployment of applications, deployment of OS, deployment of security patches, deployment of drivers, software drivers. So automatic deployment of all these things. And it is previous versions. Previous version was, it started with being SMS. So it was SMS to start with long time back. Now how do you compare this history? How do you compare this history? Is it cold for anyone? We can switch off the AC. We'll start again. Okay. Okay, here. Let's look at this, guys. Let's look at this. So here, now how do we compare the history? Guys, whenever you need to remember the history itself, remembering history itself is not easy. But remember it what you already know. So you can remember it from Windows server history. So Win servers. Now Win servers, where did they start from? They started from NT. So they were long time back NT. They were called NT servers. So the server that you see as server 2012, it was NT server. It was upgraded to 2000 server. It was upgraded to 2003. This was upgraded to 2008. And then now 2012 and going towards 2016. So 2016 is also out for testing. Beta version is not out yet. So this is, if anybody wants to test it, it is available to download and you can try that out. So here, so this was the previous version. So this is previous version. This is the first time when Active Directory was introduced. And then from here it goes on to 2003. From 2003 it goes on to 2008. And between these all major versions, how many years?
2 years.
4 years in general. So between each version, Microsoft waits for 4 years. So each major version, 4 years. Guys, sometimes they would check you on this in interviews. So each major version, 4 years. And every 2 years, they release out R2 version. So Server 2012, R2 was already out. So R2, guys, the thumb rule for any operating system is this. Thumb rule for any operating system is this. If you're working in any environment and then they ask you, okay, Amir, so I have two Amirs, so here Amir, there Amir. So Amir, would you need you need to install 4 servers. So now it's up to you. Your manager, most of the time, medium to large size company or even large size company managers, they don't know the technical details, especially small to medium size. So it's all up to you which operating system to work with, guys. The thumb rule is. Thumb rule is whenever R2 is there, work with R2. What is the reason? Why would you need to work with R2?
Our patches already have fix-up.
Exactly. It has all the patches. It has all of the shortcomings that were not there, and so it is. So guys, this is the history of. What is the history of SCCM? So this is SCCM, guys. SCCM first version was SMS. So it was SMS before started. So it was here SMS. SMS stands for System Management Servers. System Management Server, and then this from SMS remains SMS from here to almost 2006. To 2006, it was all SMS. So till 2006, yes.
So which year did it start?
Hmm?
Start here?
I don't remember. I think it was the years of 2000. It was the years of 2000. But from here to here till 2006, they had this, and then they upgraded this to SMS, SMS 2003. Sorry, SMS 2003. So there was SMS 2003, and then SMS 2003 was upgraded to SCCM 2007, and SCCM 2007 is now upgraded to SCCM 2012. So this is the history. Now SMS or SMS 2000, so this was SMS 2000 and SMS 2003, 2007, 2012. These are all main purposes, all deployment. Main purpose is all deployments. Main purpose is all deployments. So there is main purpose is deploy. Guys, from here to here, SMS was a flop product. It was a flop product. Companies went into SMS, they deployed, they removed. And during this period, many third-party companies took advantage of this, and and you might have heard another product called Altris. Altris. Yes, Altris is that deployment product that took advantage of that time when SMS was being flop product. So Altris picked up big time. But right after SMS, they did a huge big change from here to here. Complete architectural change. So this started picking up in the market, and even this was not up to the mark where company needed it. But at this point, now SCCM is being the best product. So now this is now already 2 years now, 2 to 3 years for SCCM 2012, and you will see SCCM 2012 in all organizations. So it is that good product now. Even companies are moving from those other products to this. The reason is that this is cheaper than other third-party companies. So Altris or any other products of these sort for large organization, this is cheaper than the other products, and this gives you the more same results. So guys, what are we listening? What are we going through here? We are going through system-centered products family. System-centered products family. What is this? System-centered product family. And system-centered product family is, you have first one SCOM, second one is SCSM, third one is SCDPM, and fourth one is SCCM, and fifth one is SCVMM. And one word for, so this is SCVMM, it is famous for SCVMM. Guys, learn to name this properly. Some people would say SCMMV, so SCVVM, so it is SCVMM, SCVMM. Now SCVMM, one word is virtualization. Excellent. This is, one word is virtualization. So whatever you know about virtualization in VMware, ESXi, vSphere, everything applies to this. So everything applies to this. So this is virtualization. Virtualization. It is one, and it is what type of virtualization? We have many types of virtualization. We have application virtualization, we have desktop virtualization, we have servers virtualization, and this is servers virtualization. This is used for servers virtualization. Guys, with SCVMM, since most of us are aware of ESXi environment. You have ESXi host. ESXi host has VMs inside, and VMs are used by your products. Same goes for this. So I'm going to make a quick architecture of SCVMM. Now, SCVMM works in this manner. Now, you as a virtualization admin, you should have a know-how of this. But if you have a very good understanding of this, this is excellent. This is excellent. Now, as being vSphere, as being VMware, if you have a good depth of vSphere, vSphere 5.5, it's vMotion, DRS, and how it works and everything. With one online training, with one video training, you can understand this. But it's not that easy. But you can understand all those concepts because it has vMotion. It has dynamic optimization. So dynamic optimization is, if you remember DRS. What is DRS?
Monitors.
It is monitoring and load balancing in VMware, DRS. It is monitoring and load. Remember DRS?
Yeah.
So DRS, distributed resource scheduler. It is used for monitoring and kind of load balancing. Guys, same thing in Hyper-V or in SCVMM is known as dynamic optimization. So I'm just giving you an example. There is naming difference and same thing. So even SCVMM has vMotion that is known as live motion. So that is known as live motion. Here it is known as vMotion. So just a quick videos you can. Now here, SCVMM, virtual machine manager. One word is server virtualization. How does it work? It works exactly the same thing. So in order to remember this, you can compare it with your VMware architecture. What is VMware architecture? VMware architecture was very simple. You have vCenter right here. Then you have some hosts here. Remember? And then these hosts were in a cluster, and they were all managed by this vCenter. And your VMs are sitting inside these hosts. Remember? So what type of host is this? ESXi host. So ESXi host is sitting here, and where are the end users connected? Where are the end users connected? End users are basically connected right here on VMs. So end users are connected here because they are using VMs. They are not using Hyper-V host. ESXi host. Guys, if you can understand this very simple architecture, you can understand SCVMM as well. SCVMM works exactly in the same manner. What happens is, instead of vCenter, it has SCVMM here. And instead of ESXi host, it has Hyper-V hosts. So Hyper-V host, we all know that Hyper-V host is a role. Yes. Hyper-V host is a role inside server. All you need to do, if you need to make one server a Hyper-V server, just add a role and it becomes a Hyper-V server. So these are Hyper-V server, Hyper-V. Here it was ESXi servers. These are ESXi. So here it was controlled by vCenter, and here it is controlled by SCVMM. So basically for now, just overall view is that SCVMM is actually managing managing this complete environment. I don't want to go into huge big details here, but here it uses clustering. Does it use clustering here?
Yeah.
It uses clustering. And how do you enable clustering in this environment? Go into vCenter, right click on vCenter inside, create a cluster under data center, right? Here it also uses clustering, but it uses failover clustering. The failover clustering feature in Server 2012. I mean, in very short terms, these are few things that we need to remember. Number one, SCVMM stands for Virtual Machine Manager. It stands for Virtual Machine Manager. Secondly, one word is server virtualization. Third, it works like so. If you can remember this, if you have completed this, if you know this, then you can compare it with this. If not, if you're new to this, then all you need to remember, SCVMM is the main server that controls your clustering and all virtualization. How vMotion is happening, how DRS is working, which is dynamic optimization, and all that. But one more thing that SCCM has this has one thing more than vCenter. Guys, vCenter does not provide you a cloud solution, whereas SCVMM is a cloud in itself. You can make a cloud right from SCVMM. So SCVMM has that. SCVMM is not only works as VC, vCenter, but it also gives you a complete private cloud. It can give you a complete private cloud. So your question might be that how can you implement cloud in VMware? Guys, in VMware, you need to install a separate product that is known as vCloud Director. So you would install vCloud Director, connect it to vCenter, now it becomes a cloud. So you add this extra piece, and then this environment will become a cloud. Whereas in this SCVMM did give you a complete virtual management, plus it's a cloud as well. So guys, here, so these are, and there are two more products that are not very significant for System Center. So these are the same thing, these are the main things that we need to remember. Easier to remember? Difficult to remember?
I have a question about this SCCM and the SDP. In first infrastructure, we had DC and another server of the 2012 for SCOM, right? But for this SCDPM, we
installed another server.
Another server parallel to the same
yes,
server,
exactly.
or underneath that server, like inside that where
parallel. Actually, this is not even underneath or above. This is just one network.
One network. And then maybe VM under.
Oh no, it's not like that. Okay.
DPM can work without. Is this a DPM can work without?
Oh yes, guys, it's a very good question. Can DPM work without SCOM, or can SCOM work without SM service man? Yes, guys, these are all independent products. They can all work on their own. But guys, always remember that each product has its infrastructure of its own. It's not like you just come and just install DPM and start working with this. I mean, it can be, it can happen. But guys, each product is an infrastructure of its own. So guys, what I want you to do now is, yes, question.
So what do you mean by SCVMM offering a cloud in itself?
Yes. So it has the cloud feature. For now, just remember that if you have SCVMM, you don't have to pay extra to get a cloud. Make it a cloud application.
So it's going to use Azure?
Huh?
It's going to use Azure?
No. It becomes a private cloud. So what I mean is that if you need to have a private cloud in VMware environment, you need to buy an extra product. If you need to create a private, now the question is, what is a cloud? So don't go into that.
No,
don't go, because
I know what a cloud is, but how do you can you give by example?
The only thing that I can suggest is that if you buy this, you don't have to buy extra component to make it a cloud solution. So if you have SCVMM, it will offer you a private cloud experience.
Okay. The storage maybe hard drive.
It is very cloudy outside, and we still continue with the class. Okay, guys, this is what I want you to do. 5 minutes discussion. In 5 minutes, I want you to discuss in a group of 3, pair of 2, each and everything on the board. And one word for discussion is honesty. Honesty means each and every word you have to say. Each and every word. Now, what is the reason of this discussion, guys? The reason of discussion is that you are listening, you are seeing, you are writing. I want you to speak it, so that it becomes more longer storage. So guys, your time starts now, and what you need to do is you need to start from SCCM right here at the top, and then going on to deployment. So number 1 is this, number 2 is here, number 3 is here, number 3 is here, and number 4 is this, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8. So your time starts now. So 1 point each person. So start with this. Quick.
I'm listening.
Yes, will use, yes, and but it is used by SCCM. So SCCM is using all these products. So instead of just throwing them in the garbage, they used it and they top. So I'm going to explain that. So guys, here. So now guys, what we have learned so far is that SCCM is owned by Microsoft. It's a Microsoft proprietary application. It's Microsoft owned product. It's a suite of products. It has many products, System Center. And System Center you can remember in this manner. So System Center, it has OM, it has SM, it has CM, it has BPM, and it has VMM. It has VMM. And again, one more time, this is monitoring. This one is service desk or ticketing. This one is deployment. And this one is backup. And this one is virtualization. So guys, now let's start with SCCM. SCCM is a very, very important product for in the market. But one thing that we must understand about SCCM before we even dive into SCCM. Guys, get ready to see the world's most complex application. Oh, actually, that might be a huge, big exaggeration. But guys, seriously, as being a system admin, you will work with many products. You will work with VMware. You will work with Citrix. You will work with backup applications. You will work with many stuff. Yes, IBM products are very, very complex. So I'm not counting IBM. But among all these products, the most complex product to work and configure and use is SCCM. Now, there is a reason why this is so. Now, so before having SCCM, so we're starting here. We need to have an SCCM. Now, SCCM is used for deployment. Number one, guys, in order to have SCCM, you must have a AD environment. So first of all, AD is a short requirement. You must have AD in that environment, which means you must have Active Directory, and that means you must have DNS, and that means you must have Windows environment, and all machines joined to Active Directory. In order to have SCCM, you need to have Active Directory, you need to have DNS, you need to have joined machines, and which automatically means that you have all the basic stuff covered. So what is the basic stuff covered? Your all basic stuff is your TCP IPs. TCP IP is working fine in your network. Your networking is working, is available. Your firewalls are configured properly. In our case, we're going to disable the firewalls. So your firewalls are in real environment. You would create exception. You would create rules inside firewalls to let open these ports. But in our environment, we're going to disable it. We're going to disable them. So firewalls are disabled. So this is the main environment. So you must have this basic environment. Then you have DNS. Then you have AD, and then you can work with SCCM. This is one thing to remember. Now the second thing, once we do understand this, do we understand this kind of?
Yeah.
So you have to have this architecture, and then you must have it. Guys, in doing this, you can see, now I'm going to give you an example of complexity. Why is it so complex? Guys, complexity is, now in SCCM, in my own definition, it has many moving parts. As compared to other applications, they have less moving parts. So if you have less moving parts, they are easier to troubleshoot. If you have many moving parts, especially very small parts, then it is difficult to troubleshoot. It is difficult to pinpoint the error and fix it. Now, the example is very simple. Example is this. This is your client machine. Let's say this is your client machine. And in order for client machine to work, you must have an operating system connected to it. So this is your operating system. This is, let's say, the hardware. So you have operating system and hardware. Secondly, in order to have a network, you must have Active Directory infrastructure. So again, you must have Active Directory infrastructure. Now you decided that you must have Active Directory infrastructure. In order to have Active Directory, you must have DNS as well. So here you're going to connect to DNS. So this one hardware is connected to OS, it is connected to DNS, it is connected to Active Directory, and there are few other smaller moving parts. So for example, you have to have a proper IP configuration. You have to have a proper networking attached to this. So this is networking attached to it. Once this complete environment is working, then on top of this, you need to understand that what is your site structure, how is your network, how many subnets are there. So among these, you have. So among these, you're working with securities, permissions, and then you're working with subnets. You're working with subnets, and you're working with sites. And then, guys, I'm just writing those parts that affects SCCM. Just to give you an idea that if you're ever stuck in SCCM, you might be looking into these small little places. And I'm going to go into more detail. This is just to give you an idea that how many parts are connected. So here you have securities, permissions, you have sites and subnets. Other than this, you have, so this is your Active Directory. Other than this, you have multiple servers here. So you have multiple servers. Other than this, you have many other roles within your environment. For example, you have a separate WDS role. You have a separate WSUS role. You have DHCP role, which is very important. So here you have DHCP role. So this is your running environment, and SCCM is not there yet. Now, in this environment, you are going to introduce SCCM. So SCCM comes right here. So you are going to add SCCM. Guys, I'm not using this one. So you are using SCCM here. Now with SCCM, it's not just SCCM that is connected. SCCM has its own around 20 different roles. Within SCCM, there are 20 different roles, in which I'm going to go into detail. There are some mandatory roles, there are some optional roles. So here, let's say you have some roles attached to this, and then let's say in SCCM you installed SCCM. Now in SCCM, your only task, so between this and this, I'm going to connect them with MP. There is one role called MP, there is another role called DP. So I'm going to go into more detail what is MP and DP. But for now, remember that these are all, this is your network that is connected. And now what do you need to do? Your task is to automatically deploy an operating system that is made here. So what is an automatic deployment? Automatic deployment will be this. You bring a ISO CD. So you brought a Windows 7 ISO CD. You created a package of this CD here. And now what your task is to deploy this CD on new computers. So these are new computers. But guys, now see, the complexity is this. It's not very simple. If it would have been simply like this, if it would have been SCCM directly deploying on this, this would have been very simple. This is simple. But guys, what makes it complex? Because this operating system package has to go through between this all and then reaches here. This is what makes it complex. This is what makes you a SCCM specialist. The more you know this environment, the better SCCM admin you are, the better approach you have. So for example, in doing this, you are going to deploy it here. So you must deploy SCCM here. Now in doing this, it will go through MP to DP to different roles to WDS. And then with this, so this is just SCCM part. This area is just SCCM part. But then you should have proper permissions. You should be in a proper Active Directory. It should be properly authenticated. The name resolution should be there. Proper IP addressing should be there. DHCP should be there. DHCP should have scopes inside. And then other than that, you should be in a proper site. And I just gave you a very simple scenario. Guys, what makes this environment more complex? What makes this environment more complex is this. Is this complex or simple? It is no simple. Yes, I take it. It is no simple. Or you said, no, it's simple.
No, C is just the simple. I mean, just circles.
Yeah, seeing circles are simple. Guys, it's like, I call this just like a car engine. If you open a car engine, there are many small little gears that are connected everywhere. Nowadays, more computerized, but they're all small. Guys, these are those small little gears. So this would have been simpler for us end user. We think, oh, somebody deployed, okay, let me see. Oh, I'm getting a deployment, yay! And in few minutes it deployed. But guys, for us SCCM admin, it works like this. For end user, it is just this. For end user, they see it being deployed and they would see it deployed, it's done, finished. But for us, we have to configure all this, and if this is stuck deployment, this deployment is not going through. So you sent a package to 20 machines, and this package went here and it went fine. But on this, it failed. And when it failed, it gives you a general error message. And that general error message, now you'll have to see that where is the issue. Is IP the issue? Is network the issue? Is it a problem with authentication? Is it a problem with the role? Is it a problem with this or that and this? Guys, what makes this more and more complex is variety of operating system. This was one operating system and one type of hardware. Guys, at this point, I'm not kind of scaring you. I'm just making your mind ready to work on a product that you have to have that broad thinking, not Active Directory thinking, where it is only one Active Directory, and then all you need to do is join a machine or rejoin a machine or make it a work group. And guys, in this case, you have to have that broad thinking. You need to get out of that that very simple troubleshooting mode to a more complex troubleshooting mode. Now, just to make it a little bit more complex, I'll give you, there is a variety of operating system here. So you will be deploying Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 2008 or 2012 here. And then here will be variety of hardware as well. So you might have HP machines, you might have IBM machines, you might have servers, blade servers, or then you might have half blade servers, or you might have chassis here. And what makes it even more complex, you might have physical servers or you might have virtual servers. And then this is just one part of SCCM. This is one part. What part is this? Deployment of OS. What about applications? Guys, application, there are hundreds of applications that need to be deployed. So you have application number 1, let's say a WinZip. WinZip is one application. 7-Zip is another application. Skype is one application. You have Cisco Phone is another application. So these are smaller applications. What about larger applications? So larger applications, Office 2010 is a larger application, and other major financial applications, billing applications, hospital applications. So numerous applications, and then numerous number of operating systems. Guys, having said this, but I want to make a point. My point here is, when you start troubleshooting, you need to have lots of patience and dedication. So dedication is the word I'm going to use with SCCM, is that you can ask, you're allowed to ask me questions, you're allowed to ask senior questions, you're allowed to send questions to Canop's IT forum, you're allowed to ask it. But guys, before asking a question, try your level best in order to solve the issue. So what do you need to try your level best? Your level best is, you reached a trouble, you reached an issue. I want you to first of all try your level best to, based on your own knowledge, see which area might be affected. Which area might be affected. Number 1, try your best. So try your best. And in trying your best, you're trying to solve this issue. So most of the things, guys, whenever you start troubleshooting, you will start pinging. First of all, you see the network is there. Then you see IP address is there. Then you see firewall is not on or off. So those things. And then the next one is, then you start Googling. And in Google, you can also look for some YouTube. Or you can also look for some step-by-step. So after trying all this, then you can ask questions, and then, so before giving up, guys, try your best. Now, what would you get if you do this? What would you get if you do this?
Knowledge.
First-hand knowledge, first-hand experience. Whatever you fix after doing all this, you will never forget it. But what happens, that if you're stuck anywhere, you call me and I knew it, and I'll say, oh, go there and do it. If you do in this manner, then you won't learn anything. So here, I just wanted to show you this is how SCCM is, because you are working with variety of applications, you are working with variety of operating system, and here you have variety of hardware, variety of hardware. Each application has its own requirement. So let's say, just to give you an example, this application requires just 10 MB on C drive. So which means, guys, which simply means is, if it needs a 10 MB on C drive, and this machine does not have 10 MB, that package will fail. This is a very simple error. And if this machine, if this needs 1 GB on your drive, and you need to have at least 500 MB RAM available on this machine. So it would run on few of them, it won't run on others. So in that, you need to go through the requirement. This is just to show you what this is. Questions?
So break.
What? We had a break.
You missed it. You missed it.
We had a break. We're gonna have, okay. So 4 minutes break. Just a freshen up break. We're gonna have main break at 9 o'clock. So it's just a 5 minutes freshen up break. Okay, thank you. और सुना यार आपने बहुत ही कम किया है इसको ज़्यादा किया है और ये चीज़ करें कि वो बहुत सारे लोगों को मुझे बाहर में पता लगा कि इतनी ज़बरदस्त थी लेकिन फिर मैं ले गया था वो जिसने भी ट्राई किया
This is some serious tension. अच्छा नवीन से बात
हमने सोचा है कि क्लास में लिए ना 500 क्वेश्चन पढ़ने में इसलिए बहुत टाइम है 410 है उन्होंने कंपनी ने लिए 11 सेम चीज़ तो हमने जो पहले जो पास किए हैं प्रीमियम से चार्ज तो वो उस बंदे की प्रीमियम की मेमोरी खत्म हुई तो वो चला गया अब 250 की 6 मंथ की तो वो क्यों ना ले लेना और हम सारे जो भी हैं कवर भी करते हैं प्रीमियम में वो अपडेट उसमें 200 है मैक्सिमम जिसके हैं वो 200
उसमें अजीब हमने तो बहुत गलती हो गई कि हमने दूसरी खरीदी ना वही खरीदी दिस इज यू हैव एक्सेस फॉर 6 मंथ्स वो अपडेट करेंगे वो कहते हैं अपडेट राइट शायद
6 मंथ में हम कुछ भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं हमने सिर्फ कल ये ट्राई किया
अब लेकिन वो कितने everyone's told we need to get everybody exactly अरे उसके अलावा 413 414 जो भी चाहिए 17 19 anything you have open access to you have open access
like all of the exams like Citrix, CCNA
everything or अगर ऐसे talk about Sesame क्या Sesame they want to say
हमने जो पहले बात की वो फ्री दिए थे
और सबसे भी कहते हैं कि दूसरे क्लास को भी बोलते हैं तभी करते हैं तो भी है ना ये देखो जिसको देना है ना एग्जाम जिसको एग्जाम देना है ना वो दे जिसको एग्जाम देना वो करेगा हाँ है कि नहीं सीरियसली
Plus top of that, you guys are doing the SCCM now sometimes.
मतलब मैं तो वो बोल रहा हूँ मैं सोच रहा हूँ होटल में वो हो जाऊँ होटल छोटा ले लूँ
Even start with to start with?
You have to tell your name, why you're taking this class, and what you want to achieve from this class. That's the thing. Can you believe that? And you know, Amir called me. That was the introductory assignment. Amir called me and told me that I call it ऐसे करना क्या है?
एग्जाम कलेक्शन के
That तो कर दिया मेरे तरफ से. कोई it was supposed to be on like आज due date ये कर देना तो हमने कर दिया उसको. We have हमने एक और भी we have to थोड़ा टाइमिंग वगैरह कर लिए तो tomorrow let's meet फिर उसके बाद फिर now we have to discuss SCCM Citrix यार 2-3 महीने के लिए separated आपकी बेटे को बिल्कुल स्तर नहीं है नवीन वो कह रही है रूम बना हुआ है हमारे पास तो वो है कैंपिंग हाँ मैम माहौल
बातें करती रहती हैं टेप लगा ले जल्दी बन जाएगा
पहले जो मैंने की है वो टाइम का लेकर उसका पढ़ने के मेरे पास तो जो पहले हम प्रीमियम के लिए थे वैसे साइड से वो जिस बंदे ने लिया था उसकी मेमोरी खत्म हो गई तो हमने ले ली अब ये 6 मंथ की जो है साइकिल में दे रहे हैं हम ये ले लें और 6 मंथ तक है हम सारी कर सकते हैं अपने फाइल कोई हमें एवरी सिंगल वन पर दे देते हैं
सारी सिर्फ ये वाहिद ये 500 रुपये बनना पहले जमा कर देती थी सारे बच्चे हैं उसमें इन सारे से
तो इसलिए अब 4 लोग हो गए
इसीलिए तो मैं इस पे टाइम दे रहा हूँ वो टाइम लगा रहे हैं
हम 4 लोग हो गए और 250 है अगर हमने 13 14 भी बाय करने हैं तो हमें 100
Okay guys, let's start.
कैडी चाहिए
यार कैडी मैं अगर ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करूँ ना तो वो भी 2 हफ्ते में आएगी आई थिंक $25 ओके ठीक है मुझे अपना मॉडल ना आप ईमेल कर दें आप अपनी मशीन की ओके गाइस लेट्स स्टार्ट क्विक क्विक क्विक
actual exam questions certified state files
Okay guys, let's start. So SCCM.
You agree, right, Imran?
SCCM stands for System Center Configuration Manager.
Yes.
So guys, let's start. Yes.
So the exam they have like 475 questions, right? Nobody has that much time to spend on those. So last time we passed all exams, those were from exam collection, the premium files. So the guy who has the excess, it was like expired, I think, so nobody renewed there.
Okay.
So now we are thinking to purchase it 250 total amount for 6 months excess for any kind of file.
And what is this? Exam collection.
Premium files.
But last time even premium file didn't work. So how do you make sure the premium file will work in this?
So that guy didn't have access afterwards. The 6 months were over.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get the new one because he
only had a 3 months access. What was it?
Khalid.
He took it.
Okay.
And the one he gave us was Citrix at SCCM. They wanted.
So okay, that's fine. That's fine. How much contribution do you need
No,
from
we
them?
are like there are around 6 people are here. They are participating.
Okay.
So if you can talk to the other group.
Okay.
5 or 6.
Why 6?
5 or 6, whichever tracks
who has
needs
it?
it.
Qasim is part of this
Is
group.
He's on track 6.
So just message on your group. Just message on your group that this is what we're gonna do, and you can get 6 months access.
And it
For
has
250 you get access to all.
and the other one is 470.
Okay, good.
All of it, like 411 has 470%.
Not just one 8.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, we are.
As long as they're valid, as long as they're valid. Yeah. So can we have a seat, please? Okay, guys, let's start. Now. Everyone.
We have 10 people already.
मुझे मैंने पहले उनसे किया था 40%
लेकिन स्पॉट ऑन
Code is on discount.
Guys, SCCM.
See, we have 25%
हो गया
5% discount code. If you have
यार एक जरा चीख मारो।
bring it.
खामोश. Please. So that was please.
Mainly for you.
Okay.
If only you can follow that harmony, we will all be happy.
So here, guys, let's start. Guys, SCCM, just before the break, we started understanding SCCM. Before that, we understood what is SC family, which is System Center Family. We need to remember that information, and plus SCCM. How does it work? This is how it works. You need to remember this. Now, in this, the one thing that I want you to remember, that whenever error comes in SCCM, it could be anywhere from here, depending on what type of product you're using. Guys, SCCM here, the version that we'll be working with is 2012. It is 2012. It is the latest version at the moment, and SCCM, and we'll be using the R2 version. So there is R2 version. Guys, SCCM overall, for SCCM, all you need to do is, we need to have understanding of how SCCM works, what are the main components of SCCM. So guys, just like Windows, so when you start with Windows, this is 2012 Windows, and Windows has many roles inside. So it has about 15 or 18 roles there. So what are the roles? The roles are, there is ADDS role, there is a DNS role, there is a DHCP role, and all. What is the main function of each role? Each role has its own functionality. So here ADDS is for authentication, this is for name resolution, this is for automatic IP addressing, and so on. Now, exactly in the same manner, guys, SCCM has about 20 roles. SCCM has about 20 roles, in which there are 5 or 6 are mandatory roles, all other are optional roles. For example, the first time when you install Server 2012, the only role you will find there is file and storage services. So when you install first time a server, it has one mandatory role, and that is file and storage services. So 1 minute. And then it's up to you if you need to install Active Directory on it. It's up to you if you need to install DNS on it. It's up to you if you need to install DHCP and other roles. So this is one thing. Now, in the same manner, SCCM has mandatory role, and it has optional roles. Now, mandatory roles are those roles without which SCCM won't work. So these are without which SCCM won't work. So these are absolutely required roles. And among those roles, first of all, when you install Active Directory, now before SCCM, you have to have your Active Directory environment. Before, you have to have Active Directory environment. It was my bad. Okay, here. So before that, we need to remember, now we are at SCCM level where you already have joined machines, where you already have DNS, where you already have Active Directory, and now we are installing SCCM. Now when it comes to SCCM, we need to first understand how many roles are there. So there are mandatory roles. So what are mandatory roles? Role number 1 here, there are there are few mandatory roles, and role number 1 here is that is known as site server. Site server. So site server. And before even roles, we need to understand why are we doing SCCM. Guys, we are doing SCCM because your environment was working fine. Your environment was living happily ever after till this level. So till this level, your environment was excellent. You had Active Directory, you had DHCP, you had even WDS, you had even WSUS. But then your company bought a SC System Center license, and now they're interested in using SCCM. So they asked you to come into your company and deploy SCCM. Now when it comes to SCCM deployment, first this environment is already there, and why are you deploying SCCM? Guys, they give you they give you a target. Your target is actually to deploy Windows 7. To deploy, number 1, you need to deploy Windows 7 in this environment on all their HP machines. So this is your target. This is why you are contracted in that organization. This is our scenario. Now in doing this, you need to deploy this to HP. For that, you chose a product that is known as SCCM. When it comes to SCCM, installation, our architecture is this. Our architecture is this. So our architecture is this. In this architecture, we have this network, and I'm going to go into more detail. I have to fix this IP address here. So guys, everybody will be using the same architecture, same name, same IP, because then it is easier to troubleshoot for all of us.
So can you send us the slides?
I took a picture and sent this.
No,
So here, this is our architecture, guys. In this architecture, your network should be we are all using not 100.0/24. We're using 105.
105, okay.
We're using 105 network, and then we have 3 servers here. And one server, first server is SCCM. First server is Active Directory server. Names of the servers are very, very important, guys. Everybody is using the same naming servers. So the first server is SCCM, and guys, just like in all organizations, in all of the organizations, you must remember that these names means something. These are not just random names. So here, first one, this is your domain name, CANEPS. And then here it is for SC, for System Center product, and it is a DC, so DC as domain controller. So this DC is especially for your System Center environment. So here this is your DC, number 1, and then it is this IP address, role is DC and DNS, and your domain name is caneps.pri. We are using caneps.pri. And one thing, that all these servers are server 2012, and this is Windows 7. So I have to add this in the diagram. I'm going to add this here. And the second server is SCCM, and it is CANEPS, then SCCM. There is one S missing. So SCCM, it should be one S here. So CANEPS SCCM1, it is IP address this. It is a SQL server because SCCM needs a database. And then it has SCCM as well in this. And the roles.
IP addresses, we give the 20 and 30.
Yes, sorry, you have to change it, so change them. You're rebuilding it.
Okay.
Huh?
We put 20 and 30, everybody 40, 30.
And you already installed Active Directory?
Yeah.
All done.
Everything done. Okay, it's fine. So exception is whoever is done from the previous. So just go to this diagram, guys. This is easier for all of us to troubleshoot. If you ask a question, then other person knows where you are. Otherwise, if you all use all your namings and IP, then it will be difficult. So guys, here, this one.
Shouldn't make any difference, right?
Yeah, you can revert back to a snapshot.
And change the name and everything. Will be a problem later?
It might not. It might. Try it, but I think it will affect Active Directory. But you have to do few times restarts. I would say not to get into issues, not to get into problems. You have 7 days now. Just rebuild your environment. So till next lecture, guys, you must have this ready. Now, why am I showing you this?
available 14.
What's happening? What's happening here?
Sir, वो SCCM.
Why are you disturbing him?
Sir, I always.
Adnan, please don't disturb him. Now you're not disturbing.
Sir, change his seat, sir. Please, change his seat.
I am. I mean, I told this guy many times. Adnan, this is
Not anymore.
So it's going to cost him $20.
Okay. So here, guys. So guys, the idea that guys, everyone on the screen, guys, don't start building labs at the moment because you won't understand this now. So guys, here, everyone on the screen, and here we need to understand. So just like this server has these two roles, so one role is DC, second role is DNS. Exactly like this, on this server it has three roles. One is site DB, MP, and DP. This is what I'm going to discuss here now. So this is how these roles are installed on SCCM server. So on this server there are three roles, and this server has only one SCCM role, and that is DB. And I'm going to explain this here now. So this is our architecture. So you need to take this. I think it is already WhatsApp to the group as well. And whoever doesn't have it, you can take a picture and start making this architecture. I'll be making a full video for this as well, for this complete architecture, and I have other videos for this. So you can take help from the video as well. So there won't be any excuse why you were not able to do the labs. Step by step will be there, but although along with the video you might have to do small little troubleshooting here and there. Okay, so here you have so first very important role is site server. Site server role, this is a role, it is a mandatory role, and this role is very, very important. Now, when it comes to a site server can be of three types. Site server role, so this is actually one role, it can be of three types. So one, it can become, you can create a CAS as a site server. You can have a primary site server, PS. So I'm going to write primary site server. And you can have a secondary site server, SS. This is secondary site server. And CAS stands for Central Administration Site. So CAS stands for Central Administration Site. So here CAS stands for Central Administration Site, and PS stands for Primary Site, and SS stands for Secondary Site. Now any one of them, so in these you must have at least either CAS or PS in your environment. So you must have at least one PS in your environment. Now CAS, so first of all, first thing to understand is you must have a site server in your environment. So even if it is the smallest environment, you must have at least one site server. And that one site server must be a primary site server. So I'm going to say this is a mandatory role for any organization, this one. But then site servers can be CAS, or site server can be secondary site server. But one server that you must have in the environment is primary site server. Now, what is the role of primary site server? Guys, primary site server role is just like a role in, the very first server in your infrastructure. We are talking about SCCM infrastructure here. Now, as soon as you install, so this is my environment, this is my existing environment, and in here I have these machines here. So you have Windows 7 logging in, you have 8 logging in, and this is your DC, this is your DNS, and now it is the first time that you are installing SCCM. So what you need is, first of all, it is not recommended to install SCCM on Active Directory. So with Active Directory, now what do you think? It's a Active Directory recommendation or SCCM recommendation?
SCCM.
No, Active Directory recommendation. It is Active Directory. You should not mix up any other roles with Active Directory. This is one thing that we already know, and we should know for good, that on DC we don't mix up DC with anything, not even with WDS, not even with its own Windows role. You must have DC separately. So one thing. Second thing, so since you're installing SCCM environment and you as an admin, this is you as an admin, and your task that is given to you, Windows 7 needs to go on to 20 HP machines. So this is your task. And in order to do this task, you have two ways to do it. How many ways?
Two ways.
Two ways to do it. And one way is manual installation. You can go from one PC to another, take the CD and install. But guys, these are 20, and then they are giving you 200 after this. Then you need to do 200 machines after this. And then after this, you need to do 2,000 machines. So guys, manual deployment is not a chance. So you must have some automatic deployment. And in order to do this, you selected SCCM. Being a SCCM admin, this is your selection. Now, in order to do this, guys, in this environment, the very first server that you need is a SCCM primary site server. So in this case, you would install a new server. You would install a new server 2012. So this is server 2012. And in this server, it will be joined to Active Directory. So it will be a joined machine. So number one, it is operating system. Number two, it is a joined machine. And number three, now you are going to use SCCM CD, 2012 CD in this, and you would make it a PS. So it will become a primary site server. So the very first requirement for SCCM is a primary site server. Now in this environment, so you create a primary site server, and how do you create a primary site server? Just like exactly, you can think of just like you made a domain controller. How did you make the domain controller, guys? You just created a server and added a role. In this case, you just did a little more. You got the CD and you run a setup SCCM, and during the installation, you make it a primary site server. And primary site server, its very first requirement. Now, with a primary site server, you can add a secondary site server as well. Now, most of the time, secondary site server is only required if you have different cities, if your network is spanning different cities. So this is your Toronto site, and right here, you have your Montreal site. And in Montreal site, you also have some users here who need deployment or who need to use SCCM. In this case, instead of installing another primary site server, what we do, we install SS here, secondary site server. So when it comes to secondary site server, you can just simply say secondary site server is used to load balance between different cities. So this secondary site server will be connected to primary site server. And primary site server, whatever you have on primary site server will be here. Now your question is, what is on primary site server? Guys, primary site server, you are going to have packages. So we'll talk about packages. So here you have a package. Yeah, somebody mixed my old markers with new markers. Okay. Here. So here, why are you having SCCM? It's because you need to deploy package. And your package is simply server to the Windows 7. So Windows 7 needs to go onto these 200 machines, then 20 machines, then 20 HP machines, 200 HP machines, and 2000 machines. So this package, so for that you must install first primary site server. You installed a primary site server. And once it becomes a primary site server, in order to communicate this with a new bare metal machine, so this is a bare metal machine. What is a bare metal machine? Bare metal machine. Bare metal machine. What is a bare metal machine? A machine without operating system. So remember from now that bare metal machine is a machine that has no OS on it. No OS. A machine that has no OS. A machine that has OS, it can be used as a bare metal machine, but then the OS on this will be completely removed. So bare metal machine is the machine that has no OS. So in order to do all these, they must be discovered inside this environment. So you have a primary site server to start with, which means site server is important, site server is mandatory, and the site server role that is mandatory is this, and this is optional roles. So this one is optional role, which means although they are both site servers, but they are optional roles. And the only mandatory role for small to large environment is first of all, you have to have at least one PS, one primary site server. In that one primary site server, you would add operating system here, you will start packaging it. You package it, then it will be ready, and then it will work. So what? Yes.
What's the difference between this secondary and the center and the city?
Okay, I'm going to explain that. Just a second. Okay. So here, before I answer your question, let's understand what is a package so that we can understand, guys. So this is my OS that I need to deploy. This is the OS that I need to do. All you need to do, you need to have one primary site server. So I installed Server 2012, made a primary site server. Now as a SCCM admin, I'll bring that CD, put it in, and then I'll package it. As being SCCM admin, this is your responsibility. You need to package it. How do you package it? There is a complete full chapter on this, so don't worry about that. For now, you package it. It is packaged, and as soon as it is deployed from primary site server, it will go onto the machine. Here, it will be unpackaged and then will be installed. This is what happens in SCCM. Same thing goes for applications as well. So SCCM can do applications, OS, or security updates. Everything is packaged. Everything is packaged. So SCCM, you package the thing, application, WinZip or Skype, and you send it to this machine or this machine. Here, in these machines, SCCM agents are sitting. SCCM client is sitting, and that client will unpackage the application and install it. This is what SCCM does. This is why you need to have primary site server working with it. So which means, I'll take your question in a moment, which means on all these machines, you must have SCCM clients as well. So here you have SCCM client and here. So two components now we know. So now we know two components. There is SCCM client on machines, and there is SCCM server with a primary site server. So this is SCCM server. First your question. So your question is that what is the difference between primary site server and a secondary site server? Was that your question?
No, the secondary one and the central.
Okay, so I'm going to explain that. What is this? Now, first of all, secondary site server is just to load balance your environment. For example, here you have a CEO sitting, CEO, just like in normal organization. You have main person sitting there, and you might have VP sitting here. So VP is smaller than CEO. So here you have primary site server. So in one SCCM infrastructure, you must have at least one primary site server. And then you can have many SS. You can have an SS. You can understand that this is whatever is happening here, you can have it here. So now these clients, they don't have to go to primary. They can just work with secondary here. So one thing. Now what is CAS? Guys, CAS we must remember that CAS is only required, first thing, that if your environment has more than 100,000 clients. So the very first requirement is 100,000 clients. So if your environment has more than 100,000 clients or objects, then you need CAS, otherwise CAS is not required. So it is for only big organizations. Now, what can CAS do? Guys, CAS can only do two things. It can only do two things. It is not as powerful as primary site server. So even if you have CAS, you must have one primary site server. This person you can think of, this person has everything. You can package here, you can install application here, you can deploy from here. But guys, CAS functionality is just two: reporting and administration. Just two things. It does not do anything technical. So CAS does reporting and administration. In other words, CAS will be your admin office for your SCCM. So now, why would you need CAS for this? Guys, think of 100,000 clients. 100,000 clients you're managing from SCCM. And SCCM does this, but guys, other than this, I'm going to show you it can do inventory as well. It knows how big environment do you have. It knows how many operating systems do you have. How many operating systems? So no, overall SCCM. Overall SCCM can do the complete inventory of your machine. But guys, when you have 100,000 objects and they need to be managed from SCCM, then we add a administration server. So this is just an administration server, which is, with the name you can remember, it is central administration site. It's a central administration site. So right here, if I can show you, so this one, so CAS actually sits right at the top of the hierarchy here, right here. So this is your CAS sitting here, and then CAS can be connected to primary site server. So now, in which cases would you have more primary site servers? Guys, mostly when you have huge distance involved in your cities. For example, I can have one primary site server for Toronto, another one for New York, and another one for UK. But for complete Canada, I don't need to install many primary site server unless I have huge number of clients there. So in many companies, I've seen very few, most of the small to medium sized organizations, they have only one primary site server. Large organizations, you can have few primary site servers, and then under primary site server, you have secondary site servers. So this is like different cities here. This is Toronto, this might be Vancouver, this might be Montreal, and this primary site server is altogether in another country. But on top of all this is CAS. So CAS is there just for central administration side. It does only two things, and that is reporting and administration. It just does. So your question might be, what you cannot do on this server? Guys, you cannot package anything on CAS. So if you have this server, on this server you cannot package anything, you cannot deploy anything, you can see the reports, you can just see the management. You can just have management from this product. So guys, here first mandatory role is a site server role, and in this site server role, the very first important server role that you need to remember is primary site server. So primary site server is the important one, and then these are two also site servers, guys, but these are optional. So if you have many different cities, then you can have this. Guys, one thing that we need to remember about a site server role, that site server role always have a site DB. Site server role, so this is one role, and so here I'm going to remove this because I don't have space. So second mandatory role is site DB. Site DB. Site DB is connected to each site server. Site DB is connected to each site. This is, so you can say, this is a second role. This is a database role that exists with each site server. So each site server has its own database. So which means if you have a primary site server, it has its own database. And if you have a secondary site server, it has its own database. So they all have their own database. Even CAS, if you have CAS in this case, so CAS will have its own database. So this will have its own database, this will have its own database, this will have its own database. So whenever you have a site server, you also have a site DB. So in this case, you have two roles in this server. So you have a site server and site DB both on one server. Exactly like when you install first time Active Directory must be accompanying with DNS. You must have DNS with DC. Although you can install DNS on a different server, but guys, nowadays it's recommended that you have DNS on DC. So you have 10 DCs, all 10 should have DNS. Before, long time back, we used to separate these roles, but now they should be on the same. Although it's not a mandatory requirement, you can still have DC and DNS on separate servers, but it's recommended to have them. So guys, so the two mandatory roles here, one role is primary site server, second role is site DB. What is in site DB? Your complete SCCM configuration. So site DB has SCCM configuration, or stores. Instead of has, you can say stores SCCM configuration. So it has SCCM configuration. What SCCM configuration? Guys, you can have how many SCCM servers are there? So this is SCCM configuration, SCCM servers, number of SCCM servers, number of SCCM servers, and then other than this, how many applications, number of applications being deployed, and then site structure, etc. So basically all your SCCM configuration is stored in site server. Guys, can you remember anything of this type in other servers? Active Directory, whenever you have Active Directory, you have NTDS. So you have NTDS database, right? So all your Active Directory stuff is stored in NTDS. Your OUs, your users, your permissions, your GPOs, and all that. Exactly like this, in this DB, site DB, you have complete SCCM configuration. So SCCM doesn't store anything in Active Directory. SCCM stores everything in site DB. So this is being site DB's second mandatory role. Guys, the third mandatory role is, and then one thing to remember. How many things to remember?
One thing.
One thing to remember. And that one thing to remember is that all site DB have their own databases. They don't share. I mean, it won't be that if you have one database here and this secondary site server use the same database. No. As soon as it is a site server must have its own database. Now, so site server, this is why I said this is a database role that exists with each site server. So all site server will have their own databases. Now, in this third mandatory role is server component. So third mandatory role is server component. So server component. Guys, server components are those files. Server component, it's a number one, it's a role that exists on all site servers. So this exists on this role exists on all SCCM. This role exists with all SCCM role servers. So number one is whichever server has anything related to SCCM, this server component will be part of that server. So if you have 20 roles in SCCM and these 20 roles are scattered on each server, so that server will have a site component. What is a site component? Site component are like services. Just like in Windows you have services. So site component is that services that works on each SCCM server. Wherever you have SCCM services on any server, it will have this role. Now these are those SCCM helping files that works for all SCCM roles. So this is like the SCCM luggage. So when you travel somewhere, you carry your luggage, right? So this is like wherever role is installed anywhere, server component will be on that server. So this is a primary site server component exists. This is a secondary site server component exists. You create a cache, server component exists. You just create a DP, distribution point, not DP. So MP, server component exists. So first of all, what we need to understand, server components are SCCM helping files. You can just remember in this manner. So these are SCCM helping all SCCM files. So they go with all the roles except DP. So we need to just remember this one exception. Among these 19, 20 roles, server component does not exist on DP. So here we need to remember role exists with all SCCM role servers except DP, or DP stands for distribution point. distribution point. So first of all, if somebody asks you what is a server component, server components are those helping files that exist with all the servers. So wherever you have any SCCM role, server components are automatically added. Now based on a book definition, it says a server component, a server that runs configuration manager services, and then when you install all the site system roles except for distribution point, configuration manager automatically install component server along with all the servers. So this is one thing. Now guys, after this there are three. How many roles are there? Mandatory? Three. So there are three. 1, 2, and 3. Guys, there are 2 optional roles. So based on book, there are 2 optional roles. There are mandatory with the first installation. There are 2 optional roles that are mandatory with the first installation, so we can remember them as mandatory roles. And I'm going to explain why they are called optional and why they are mandatory. For now, we need to remember 2 more mandatory roles, and those mandatory roles, number 1 is MP. MP stands for management point.
So we should not put it into optional, right?
No, this is mandatory. First time it is mandatory. First time it is mandatory. And then second one, DP. DP is distribution point. Distribution point. You have management point, then you have distribution point. Guys, there are just a very fine line between the 2 roles. You just need to remember them, and it is very, very important to remember them from now on. Just like you remember Active Directory, one word, authentication, DNS, name resolution, DHCP, automatic IP address. Exactly in the same manner, guys. In troubleshooting SCCM, you need to remember what they do in troubleshooting SCCM. So MP does 2 very important things. One is MP, it is the client connection points. All your SCCM clients connect to this server. So in other words, as soon as in the morning your working starts at 9 p.m., whichever machines are starting, they will first go and shake hand with SCCM management point. If your management point is not there, your clients cannot connect to SCCM server. So basically, this is a client connection point. It's the client connection point. Management point is the client connection point. All of the clients need to, if they ever need to use any SCCM service, they must first connect to MP. And this is one function. And second important function is all SCCM policies are sent through management point. All SCCM policies are deployed through MP. And MP stands for?
Management.
I can't hear everyone.
Management
point. MP stands for management point. Just tell them you're not free. I was just kidding. Okay.
Server down.
Yeah, this is very wrong.
Sir, आपको email दिखा देते हैं.
Server down है. Which server?
So Git.
Okay, here. Okay, Ahmed, just last message, please. Here. Okay, here.
Her server is
Some
down.
messaging Candy Crush.
Her server is down.
Okay, let's. Okay, guys, here. Look at this. Oh, there was a message from yesterday.
Yeah, right now, 8:55.
8:55, 27th.
We were having problems with this work today.
Okay, but it's solved now.
No, it's dead again.
Oh man. Okay, guys, here MP is a very, very important point. MP is a very so which means at this point some clients are not able to log in to connect to SCCM server. Or let's see, you as a SCCM admin, you're deploying Windows 7 to 20 machines. So when you're deploying this to 20 machines, it went on to 15 machines and never went through 5 machines. Now one of the thing can be that these 5 machines are not able to reach MP. These 5 machines are not able to reach MP. They're not able to accept policy. So the two important points that we need to remember from now and rest of your system admin career or rest of your SCCM admin, you need to remember two things about MP. For MP there is a huge big 4-5 pages or maybe a chapter on this. But you do need to remember only two things. It is a connection point. Number two, it is a SCCM. Policies are all sent through MP. Guys, distribution point is your Canada Post. So a Canada Post would receive all your emails, all your mails, parcels and everything, and distribution point would distribute it wherever it needs to go to. So distribution point, it's a distribution point. So, which means that from here, it distributes sorry?
It receives all the...
Yes, you're 100% right. It receives and distributes. It receives and distributes. Only a person who worked with Canada Post can understand this.
Good point.
Actually, this is how distribution point works. And I never thought of receiving anything because we always send it to a distribution point. So it's 100% it receives it and distributes it. So excellent. So here, it receives and distributes. It receives and distributes what? Guys, it receives and distributes applications, OS, security patches, whatever we are deploying. So it receives and distributes packages. Packages of applications, apps, OS, security patches, etc. That's what it does. It receives and distributes. Now why? So receives and distributes. Guys, now in distribution point is a very important point. In many organizations, you would see that you have only one primary site server, and in all your cities you have just distribution points. So this is real architecture of one of the organizations. That's the project that I finished in SCCM. So in this major city, in Toronto, we had one PS, and meaning it's a PS. We do all our packaging on this server. So we had the applications, then we make a package, and then we send. And this server was a distribution point for Toronto. So we package it and leave it to a distribution point. And distribution point is responsible for now to distribute it on client machines. So this is Windows 7. Windows 7. Now what am I distributing? So example is just maybe a Skype application. So here I got Skype, and then I made an application, Skype, and then distribute. Distribution point, it receives the package and then distributed among all the clients. Guys, the question is, when do you need more distribution points? Guys, you do need more distribution points when you have many cities. So in this company, we have cities for Windsor. In Windsor, we had one distribution point. In Guelph, we had one distribution point. In Milton, we had one distribution point. And then it goes on to Montreal, we had one distribution point. So these were all distribution points. Now, once you make a package, you just distribute it to these cities, and then local users, local machines that are in these cities, they would just receive the package and work. Now, the only thing you need to remember that on a DP, you cannot package anything. DP is only used to receive and distribute. Question?
If you have all the applications are available on internet, why not download them from internet?
Excellent. So anybody would like to answer this question?
They aren't licensed.
You need the installation or receive a package automatically. For internet, you have to go manually.
Yeah, manual. So manual process and
Security reasons probably, right?
and you have to enter all license on each machine and all that stuff.
Excellent question. It's an excellent question and also excellent answer. Thank you. So guys, exactly for the same reason. Why? Because here you are in this organization so that end user doesn't have to do anything. End user, for example, a financial manager is not a technical person, and he needs Skype in his machine. maybe a doctor is a doctor, not a technical person. He needs a Cisco phone on his machine. So for that, SCCM comes in. So SCCM, even so, this financial manager, what he does, he would only just send one ticket, or even he doesn't have to open a ticket. He would call the help desk saying, oh, I need a Skype application. And then this request goes to the SCCM, and then all you need to do is, you already have the package ready, you would target his machine, and in 5 minutes, it is installed. Seamlessly installed. The user will say, okay, oh, yeah, I got the package. So this is where SCCM is important. Yes, we can do manually, but we see the importance of automatic deployment. It's a seamless deployment, and people won't see what's happening in the background. Yes.
Each side should have one DP, or they can have multiple DPs?
They can have multiple DPs. They can have multiple DPs. So depending on how big the city is, they can have multiple DPs. Yes.
So my question was before that the client, SCCM client, agent, sorry, it is manually installed on every client, or like it is automatically goes on every machine? Or
so guys, the question is very good. The question is, we do need a SCCM client on all the machines. How do we install them? Do you have to install them manually, or or it can be automatically pushed? Guys, both methods work. You can first time go and install the SCCM client on all the machines, or what you can do, you can also push it from SCCM server. As long as they are part of Active Directory, you can push it. Now guys, thinking of MP and DP, let's look at this diagram. I know it's a bit blurred. It's a bit blurred here. Let me try to kind of expand. So this one at the top, right at the top here, I have, so right at the top, I see this is a cache server. So basically cache server is required for large implementations, right? And in this cache server, it has this local database, and then secondly, it is just used for administration and reporting point. It does not have any technical. Can you create packages on cache? No, we cannot create packages on cache. Now let's look at this other three sites. So these are other three sites here. So for example, right, starting from here, this is Richmond Hill campus in US, and in this you can see there is one primary site. There is one site DB. So in this case, because it was a big site, they separated out. They separated. So this is site DB and this is primary site. And under this is your software update point. Now what is a software update point? For now, you just need to remember software update point is WSUS. It is just WSUS. In SCCM, WSUS is called SUP. So software update point. Later on, there is a full chapter on this. So you don't need to worry about this at the moment. But guys, the important thing that I want to show you, for this complete site, they have around 65,000 clients. 65,000 clients. And in this, they have a SQL server in here. And here, so there is some more blood. This is not very important. The important thing is, in this city, they have 3 MPs and 8 DPs. So one city, 3 MPs, 8 DPs. How many?
Three MPs, I think, please, and the two.
Guys, here 3 MPs, 8 DPs. And then second side, you can see there is 2 sub, which is software update point. In other words, you can remember there are 2 WSUS, and then there is 3 MPs and 8 DPs. So 3 MPs and 8 DPs. What is the main function of MP? A client connection. It is for the client connection, and also a policy set. It sends the policy. And the third side, you can see, it is, I think, even bigger. Here you have 3 secondary servers, 3 secondary site servers, and this is North and South America. This is for complete North and South America. You might have different cities where you have secondary sites, and then you have 2 SUP and 2 MPs and how many? 75 DPs. Guys, this is, I just took this from Google, and you would see these architecture everywhere in Google. But I'll give you one real example as well. Tim Hortons. We all know Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons has one primary site server in North here for Canada, and they have around 75 DPs. So just primary one, and that's 75 DPs for their smaller location. Just like this. So in very short, guys, most of the time when we deploy application, it's not important how many roles you have. It is important how simple you can keep it. Why do I need to keep it simple? troubleshooting. Troubleshooting because you have few moving parts here. So this is just one SCCM primary site server, one DP, one MP. I have just 3 major SCCM component to troubleshoot. And after that I need to troubleshoot this, here, this and that. Now, as soon as you start making more and more components, so more DPs, and then more MPs, then you have more secondary site server. It becomes more and more complex. So you need to keep it very simple. You need to keep it very simple. And here, guys, so these are mandatory. These are all mandatory roles. One more time, and then we'll go for a break. So one more time, break. We'll go for a break, guys. These are SCCM has how many roles? Around 20 roles. One. And then how many mandatory roles? Around 5 roles. There is one more, but that is not that important. I'm going to go through this. Question? Answer?
I have a question.
Yes. That is excellent. No. Okay, so we'll come back to you. Guys, here, look at this. This blue area,
I
this,
remember.
okay.
SQL server. What is that server?
SQL server is a database
So
server.
it's called the
It is a database server, so that SQL. We had SQL in vCenter as well, but we were using a free version. Guys, SQL comes in 2 versions. SQL comes in Express Edition and SQL comes in licensed version. Now, Express Edition is free, but it has limitations. It's for very small implementation, and there is no reporting. But licensed version is paid, but then it gives you everything. It gives you everything. But in SCCM, you cannot install SCCM with Express Edition. You must have SQL installed separately. So this is what is known as a side DB. This is what makes it a side DB. So side DB is a server. Now, guys, here, these are all of the roles. These are all roles. The roles that you see in yellow, these are optional roles, and the roles that you see in blue, these are mandatory roles. So here I have management point, I have a site database, I have a primary site server, I have a distribution point, and there is one role that is known as reporting services role. Reporting services role, it used to be mandatory, but not anymore. It's not a mandatory role anymore. So later on, I'm going to go into more detail on that. Guys, just a quick recap. We are studying SCCM. Just after the first break, we started with how complex this environment can be. Guys, this is what you need to remember. This is what you need to explain each other. You can explain this to each other, that why SCCM is so important and why there are so many moving parts here. It's not as simple as Active Directory. It's not as simple as just IP address. It is a complete infrastructure in itself. What makes it very complex is many types of variety of stuff that you can deploy and on variety of machines on which you can deploy. This is why, guys, SCCM jobs are more paid jobs as compared to other jobs. Now here you have site server role. First one, site server role. It is a mandatory role. How many servers can be site servers? 3. How many? 3.
Can be 3 or more than 3.
No, it can sites.
It can be 3 and it can be more than 3. But you must have at least one primary site server. You must have one primary site server. So at least one. This is mandatory. This is non-mandatory. Cache server role is what? Cache server is just for administration and reporting purposes. This is for helping the primary site server for different cities. And then each primary site server has its own site DB. What is in the site DB? All SCCM configuration is stored in site DB. When you package something, everything is stored in this. So let's say in your environment you have 100 application packaged. 100 application packaged in this server, and if this database goes down, now you cannot deploy anything. Now MP cannot do anything. MP is your client access point. But until and unless you restore this database, this starts working, then MP and they can work. This can track clients and send policies, and this can just distribute packages. The main purpose is distributing packages. So guys, let's go for a break. 10 minutes break. 10. And the main reason why there are roles, so that you can expand your environment. If you're expanding your environment, you can have them on a different servers as well.
But usually you have like MP and distributed file like separately.
On your first server, they're on the same server. On the first server, they're on the same server. So now comes some optional roles. So first one is reporting services role. Reporting services roles. Is there another USB who wants a copy? Anyone? You have a USB? Okay.
The whole.
Amir, can you give him your USB so that they can copy?
So,
Oh, it's right here.
So the whole stuff.
Yes.
16 GB more.
It's called SCCM.
So I took it from him. I don't know if it's working or not. You can delete it and put everything back. The whole USB. Like it's
Really?
only for this.
Yeah, we just want to 500 GB. The 500. I think mine must be 500. Yeah, 500. You carry just like that. Oh. You plug it in with you. I have it.
नहीं सर बस बंद कर रहा हूँ वो तो सर्वर फारे हो गए डिस्क उसकी वो ज़ेना पे और
500 GB. External drive. Yeah, for that you can use it. You need a cable, you need the jacket for that. That's what I know. You know where? Okay, well, Amir will know. Is your server okay?
okay.
For the thing, the TV, 1 TV we took out, so where are we going to get the place to put it in to use it as a hard drive?
Oh, just go on Tiger Direct. There's a cover from StarTech. What it does is like you just put it in and it acts like a USB, just like this hard drive. Just a pocket level like that with the USB 3 and you can access it.
What website? Tiger Direct?
Tiger Direct.
And what do I type in?
Caddy.
Caddy?
Yeah,
Yes.
StarTech
But is it
HD cover case or 2.5 HD case.
Oh.
It's going to just look like that external drive. Like it's going to cover up and it's going to be an external. It's going to come with a USB 3 cable. No, StarTech 2.5 HD casing. HD casing.
Okay, start at 2.5. Is that one? Online. Done? Start. I see the chance.
Okay guys, so software is being copied. Let's quickly go through this. Everyone. So right here I have optional components. Now what is optional components? It is optional roles are part of SCCM. They are used in SCCM. So optional roles are used in SCCM, and first optional role is reporting services. Main purpose, just guys, remember from the name. This is used to produce reports.
This is for optional, right?
It is a mandatory role. It is automatically installed. It is not a mandatory role. It's not a mandatory role, but for now we'll check. Once it is installed, we'll see. But this role is used to produce reports of your SCCM environment. So reports of SCCM infrastructure. Reports for infrastructure. Now here, so you have all these different. So then, guys, there are two application level roles. So these two application level roles are application catalog web services point and application web services point. So there are two application level roles.
Is this comes under this?
Application level. So these are all optional roles. You can say that you can put them under optional roles heading. So these are applications. So this is application level roles. So first one is application catalog web service point. Application catalog web services point. The other one is
In optional role, is it reporting service come in optional role, right?
they are all so one optional role, second optional role. So actually not second is right here. So this is second optional role, and this is second one is application catalog website point. One is web service point, this is website point. Application catalog website point.
So
Now
reporting.
main purpose of both of these roles is to provide a website where users can select application and then request a package. Main purpose of both of them, yes.
So reporting services is under mandatory.
It is under, I'm not 100% sure, I have to check. Once we install it, then we'll see, but this is one of the roles.
And
It is
application-
shown under mandatory, but I'm not 100% sure it is mandatory or not. It is not required in the beginning. Because I remember we used to install reporting services after once it is completely installed.
Level role comes under reporting service?
No, so then this is second level. So first role is this. Let's look at it. First is this, second one is this, and third is this. So these three. Now guys, let's understand this. Application level roles. Application level roles. So both of these roles, guys, as you can see, the common word is application catalog, application catalog. The only difference is web services and this is website. Both of these roles, the main function of this role is to provide end user with a website so that users can request applications Now, what is the main function of this? Guys, when you deploy application, you can deploy them in two manners. There is manual application deployment, there is automatic. So when it comes to application deployment, there are two ways we can deploy application. So let's say this is my application. This is application is, let's say it's end user. So guys, let's say I have three applications to be deployed. One application is SKYPE Skype. Second application is WinZip, and third application is what is any simple application? Which one? TeamViewer. It's a good application.
Yes, sir.
TeamViewer.
Best. Free.
TeamViewer or any application, guys. These three applications I need to deploy on all 200 machines. So there are two ways. One way, so we need to deploy them. So your task is to deploy. Remember, your task is to deploy, and basically how you can deploy them, you can deploy them in two ways. One is completely manual way. You take the CD from each system to each system and then you can deploy them manually. And second way is automatic. For automatic, you can deploy automatic in two ways. One is deploy them deploy on schedule. Now remember, this is automatic deployment. So automatic, I would say deployment you can have one deploy on schedule and second one deploy on demand or request. Guys, it is deploy on demand where these two roles are required. Application catalog. So when you deploy on demand, users must go to this website. So users go to this website, and on this website they would see these applications. So they would find Skype, they would find WinZip, and they would find TeamViewer, and all they need to do, user goes there, requests the application, and automatically package will be deployed on them. So it is here, package deploy on demand, where you do need these two roles. One is app catalog, web service point, and or app catalog website point. Now if in your environment there is no need for on-demand deployment, you don't need these two roles. These two roles are only required if you need to give a website to all your users, so that instead of they would open a ticket and request for that software, they can directly go to this website, just click on that software, and the request will automatically go to SCCM, and SCCM in few minutes it will be automatically deployed on you. So this is on demand. And if your environment, what did I say?
If your environment.
And before that, how do you explain application catalog? So how do you explain application catalog?
If it's in your environment, you can deploy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Umar?
You can access the application through a web page.
We can access application through a web page, right? When do you need to access application through a web page?
When you have users who actually wanted to go to the website
to the website, exactly. And this is it automatic deployment or manual deployment?
Automatic.
It is automatic.
On
It is
demand.
part of automatic deployment. Manual would be just take a CD and deploy it. So guys, what my point is, these are, you might think that this is might be boring but guys, this is very, very important. So what I'm doing is application level role, app catalog, web services point, application catalog, website point, to provide end users with a website. So the word is website, and so that they can request applications. Now, in order to understand application point, we must understand this. You wanted to deploy these applications, they can be deployed manually or they can be deployed automatic. When they can be deployed automatic, they can be deployed on schedule. On schedule is very simple. On schedule is that I must deploy this application, and regardless of whoever needs it or not, my main task is to deploy this in all these machines. This is on schedule. This machine application. On demand is that all these people, they might need it or they might not need it. So just for that, you give them a website, they can go and request that application. This is application catalog and application point. Based on this quick discussion, let's read this. A site system role that provides software information to the application catalog site from the software library. A site system role that provides users with a list of available software from an application catalog. Now here, next one is asset intelligence. Guys, asset intelligence is another optional role. So this is number 4.
So we really have to remember all these, no? And
Just this much. Yes, you don't need, so in few of them, I'll tell you that you don't need to remember them. But these one you just go through one time, just review them, and then you won't be using them. But guys, if in class you're able to understand them, even after 6 months, you just have a quick look at them, you will remember them. So basically, try remembering them with examples. Yes.
So, let's say if you, in our work, when they upgrade some softwares, right? And it's on schedule, so next morning when you log in, it's already been deployed. Is it not the web application, or is it a different one? Let's say if they are upgrading, or they want everybody to have Skype.
Mm-hmm.
And after work hour, they schedule it and they deploy it.
Yes.
So it's not part of this application.
It is
catalog?
this, deploy on schedule.
But is it application catalog?
No, this is not. Application catalog is when you need a software, when you do need a software and your manager says, okay, just go to that website and just click and it will be downloaded. It's like a download, it's like a website with all the applications there. But this is a special website that is coming from SCCM. This is a special that is coming from SCCM.
So what's the difference between both? One is web points?
Oh yes, so these are both part of this. This is what makes, this is a server component and this is a client component. So later on there is a chapter on this. You need both of them. Guys, next one is asset intelligence. What is asset intelligence? Guys, in asset intelligence, we just need to remember this role in this manner. So this is asset intelligence role. One of the roles in SCCM. First of all, it is one of the roles in SCCM. Main function is to convert file names to proper application name. So I'm giving you one liner for this. So this is, it converts file names, application file name to proper application name. To proper application name. Now, what does that mean? Guys, that means is, have we ever worked with MS Word? Have you ever worked with MS Word? Mm-hmm. How many of us have never worked with MS Word? Have you worked with MS Word? You work with that. What is the main function? To create documents. Create documents, right? Guys, MS Word, have you ever known the name of the file? The file name of MS Word is just word.exe. Mm-hmm. So the file name is just this, word.exe. But guys, word.exe doesn't tell you which version is it. Even if it is, so if it is 2003 version, it will still be this name. If it is version 2010, it will still be this name. If it is version 2013, it will still be this name. So it is, now this name inside the file, there is file, inside file information, it has the real information, what version is this. Now, if you go to right-click property, if you find this file and go to the properties inside, you would find that, okay, so this version, this MS Word is from MS Word 2010. So this is, and the same goes for all other applications. Let's say you have Excel application, then the file name will be Excel application, and then inside it would say that it is 2003, or maybe what other version. And this is one example. So file name and proper application name. And then Adobe Acrobat. Adobe Acrobat, full name is Adobe Acrobat.
So isn't Adobe all based on cloud right now? Adobe?
Acrobat. Yes, it is.
Creative Suite, it's all cloud.
It is. Okay, I'm just saying. So, but the file name might be adob dot maybe something. I'm just giving an example. The file name might be very general file name. Guys, file name never gives you the real application name. Now guys, in environments, so do we understand that there are different file names with different application names? So there can be this file with many different versions of the same name. Now let's understand. Let's what?
Understand.
Let's understand, guys. asset intelligence. Asset intelligence is mostly required to find out how many copies of a certain application is installed in your environment. It is used to find out how many copies of a certain version of software installed in your environment. Let's take an example. Example is this, guys. Let's say your company bought Adobe Professional, and Adobe Professional alone is $300. Okay. Now your company bought how many licenses? 4 licenses, and this person bought 1 license, and this person bought 1 license. Guys, understand this, because we need to understand this to understand asset intelligence. What is your question?
He was looking at like you didn't buy it, so don't look at me.
I didn't buy license.
Okay, here.
About it.
Guys, how many people bought the license? 4 people bought the license. So at the end of the year, when audit happened, they found out that instead of 4, your company has 10 licenses. But your company paid for only 4, so that would be $1,200. So then Adobe Acrobat, Adobe team is asking for the rest of the 6 licenses. They're asking for 6 licenses because your company is using 6 extra licenses. They will be paid for this. You'll have to pay for this, and also there will be a penalty. There will be a penalty.
18,000.
Is this license not good for you? I'm revoking your license. You won't get a license. Okay, here guys. So let's see the role of asset intelligence. Everyone, let's see the role of asset intelligence. Guys, asset intelligence, what it does. Now, in this case, if your company would have known that there were 10 copies here, so before the audit they would go back to Adobe Acrobat and they would have bought those extra licenses, and then they would have not been charged for as a penalty. Guys, this is just one example. I'll give you a real example. In real example, at one time, in a large telecom company here, Microsoft went to that company and they audited that company for how many Windows licenses were there. And when they found out, they found extra number of licenses at the end of the year, and that company was charged $500,000. Because many people installed Office, many people installed this and that, and they were charged for $500,000. Guys, this is the importance of auditing. And asset intelligence plays a huge role in this. Guys, asset intelligence, what it does, asset intelligence works with software inventory role. So later on there will be one other role that is called software inventory. It's in the other screen. So it is called a software. There are 2 types of things: software inventory and hardware inventory. So let's understand. Are we here? Everybody is on the same page? Yeah. So guys, software inventory. Now, so I'm leaving asset intelligence for a second. Guys, what software inventory does, your SCCM server goes to each machine and finds out how many files, I would say, because software inventory does not know how many applications are installed. Guys, the reason is because of the complex naming convention of these software. This software inventory will never be able to find out how many real applications are there. So what software inventory does, it goes and checks out how many Word.exe is there in this machine, how many Excel is in this machine, how many other. So what it does, it will collect all the exe files from each machine. So let's say after collection, it found out at least 2,000 exe files. 2,000 exe files. And guys, as soon as it brings these file names here, this is where asset intelligence. So this is asset intelligence. Asset intelligence takes these files and then compare them with the application name. So file.exe, it will compare it with the real application name and then tell you at the end that how many Microsoft Word 2010 is installed in your environment. So basically, asset intelligence converts the normal file names to the real application name, so that at the end it will help you with licensing, so that you know that how many MS Office 2010 is really installed in your environment.
So MS actually can audit like through software inventory easily.
So Microsoft can easily audit from here, but even before Microsoft come to your environment, you can run asset intelligence reports and then find out that, okay, based on these executable files on your machine. Now, why is there a need of this file? Your question might be, why can't they just go to add remove programs and find out how many applications are there? Guys, the reason is that, just take an example of this one word. Guys, in your machine, do we know? In your machine, you can have one word.exe for 2003 version and another word.exe for 2013 version. You can have both versions sitting on one machine at the same time. You can have both of them sitting at the same. So this is just one example. If it would have been that simple, guys, then it could have been that you can go into add remove programs and just take out the inventory. It's not that simple. You have many files there that are not even listed in add remove programs. Because why? When you install one application, third-party applications are also installed with this. So you will not 100% know that if you go to this place, if I go to a control panel, and then within the control panel, I'll go to this programs and features. Here I do see that how many applications do I have in this. But here you can see that here it shows Skype with 7.12 and it also says Skype click to call. So it has many stuff here. It has many stuff here. So, which in other words, guys, with this information, you cannot count how many licenses are there. And
I think it also helps the deployment too, right? Let's say you're deploying it, so it converts the name.
Sir, I'm really
File name?
confused.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, suppose the company has 20 or 30 client computers, right? And they're deploying MS Office and all of these 21. So they have to get 20 licenses because Microsoft.
Oh yes, for sure, 100%.
So they cannot copy and they cannot expire.
No, they cannot. They're not supposed to copy. So if they have 20 machines with MS Office, they must have 20 licenses.
What if the company has bought the license for MS Office once, right? And they cannot copy it?
No.
And if Microsoft comes, they would charge you not only the license, but also there will be a penalty for them.
That's why they get the volume.
This is why they get volume license.
What happens in SCCM case? When we deploy it on 2000 machines, so they're going to get charged for 2000 machines?
No. So they just need to buy a system center license. They just need to buy a server side license and everything is included in that. Okay guys, here let's look at this one more time. Yes, let's look at this. Asset intelligence. So guys, now we should remember this is asset intelligence. It takes simple file names, converts simple file name to a proper application name. Now what it does, asset intelligence works with another role that is called software inventory, which is another role. So this is role number 5 and this is role number 6. Software inventory, the main purpose of software inventory is just to go to all the clients and collect software information from there. And once software inventory has all this information, asset intelligence will take this information and convert them to their real application name, and at the end, what are you getting? You are getting that the real license report from your environment. That how many license so guys, I mean, this is kind of in explanation, although it is kind of difficult to understand, it is very complex to implement. It is very, very complex to implement asset intelligence in any environment. So for that reason, many environments don't even use this option. Many environments, you won't find asset intelligence there. And so your question is, if there is no asset intelligence, then what do they use for inventory? Guys, they use some other software. They use some third-party applications that are already inventorying your system. But since we are on SCCM, asset intelligence is one of the optional roles. And then software inventory is another optional role. The main purpose of software inventory, this is the role name is inventory. And this is hardware inventory. So main purpose is, this is software inventory, it collects software information from all clients. Collects software information from all clients. And hardware inventory, it collects hardware information. So collects hardware information.
Is it USB
So this is
only?
another row, right? The
So is it
soft-
done?
It's going on.
So it's
So which
so
one?
these are two
All
separate
three.
rows, right?
So the silver one?
So hold on. This is done, I think.
Oh, okay. It's there.
Software and underneath is on the legal. Your Amit, your
Guys, other than this, there is application catalog. Anybody remember what are these two roles for? Application catalog. What is that there for? On demand. So they are required. It provides a website. So just remember with the website name, because this is the only role that has the word website in it. So this provides a website where people can go. This is a asset intelligence synchronize. This is why it is known as sync point. What it does is syncs normal file name with real machine name, with real application name. And then you have a certificate registration point, and this is a site system role that communicates with the server. Now this is mostly used for enrollment services. So here guys, there are three roles that are used for smartphones. There are three roles that are used for smartphones. There is something called certificate, endpoint, and enrollment point. There are 3 points. So here there is, there is certificate. Guys, there is certificate. Then there is enrollment point and enrollment point proxy. These three roles are related to smartphones. They are used for mobile devices. So if you ever need to manage mobile devices from SCCM, we need to have these roles in. You have to have an enrollment point. You have to have enrollment proxy point. So if you can just look at the definition, it says a site system role that use PKI certificate for configuration manager to enroll mobile devices. So these two are used. So the word enrollment, just like you remember application catalogs are used for application catalog. It provides the catalog of applications. Whereas enrollment points are for mobile devices. Again, these are optional roles. If your company needs to manage mobile phones by SCCM, then they would need this. Now, wherever enrollment point and enrollment proxy point are used, you must use certificate point. Do we remember what is certificates used for?
To enroll mobile.
Yes, to enroll mobile, but in general, what is certificate used for? Encryption. Remember? Certificate used for encryption. Encryption of what? Encryption of communication between two devices. So remember certificate? Certificate. So certificate is used for encryption of two. So guys, whenever you use enrollment point or enrollment proxy point, you must have a certificate. If you're not using this, you don't need this as well. So these are optional roles, and then there are few other roles. So then there is another role called fallback status point. Fallback status point, guys. Guys, fallback status point is used as a backup of your SCCM server. So it is used as a backup of MP. It is used as a backup of MP. If your main MP is not available, then the client will try to find a fallback status point in that area. So for example, in this case, you have this environment. So let's say you have your main server. It is a primary site server, and all your clients are connected to this primary site server. So this is your Windows 7, and this is your Windows 7, and they're all connected to here MP. Why are they connected to MP? Because MP is a connection point for all these clients. So MP, management point, we just discussed that management point, without management point, clients cannot connect to this. Although, even if you have PS working, your primary site working, without MP, they cannot connect. So if in any case, they are not able to reach this MP, their own MP, then they can connect to a fallback status point. So fallback status point should be another MP. It is another MP. So basically, their main contact point is your primary MP. So they will always be connected here. But in case if this is not available, they can reach out to this server, fallback status point. Guys, they can reach out to. So fallback status point is backup. So our site system rules that help you monitor clients installation and identity clients that are unmanaged because they cannot communicate with the management point. So in very simple words, if your main MP is down, these clients can still work if you have another MP as a fallback status point. Now by default, it's not there. You must create another MP. So it is just an MP backup. Then you have out-of-bound services, not used anywhere, mostly used for the ATM-based computers. Here, this is a provisioning server. It's not used anywhere. Here, this is software update point. Software update point, one word is WSUS. If you can remember WSUS, this is what software update point is. Software update point, this is, in short, it is known as SUP. So SUP, we can remember SUP as SUP is equal to WSUS, software update server. This is Windows software. Main purpose of SUP is to deploy security updates. You can remember this. This is used to deploy security updates. Then you have state migration point. Guys, state migration point is used in some sort of migration. So first of all, you can always remember that state migration point is used in migrations. Now migration meaning you are migrating from XP to Windows 7, it is a migration. You're migrating from 2008 server to 2012, it is a migration. So this point is used between migration. Now what does it do? Guys, let's say you have an old computer that is on XP. And you need to upgrade the same computer. To Windows 7. Is this understandable?
Yeah.
So here you have a computer on XP, and the user is working on this, and it needs to be upgraded to Windows 7. Guys, if the user is working on XP, they must have their personal data or files on this. They must have it. So they have their My Documents on this. They have a lot of other files. They must have something on C drive. They have printers configured on this. They have shares configured on this. So guys, now as soon as you upgrade them to Windows 7, it is your responsibility to provide them with exactly the same information after the upgrade. So state migration point is a server that is used. So in reality, how it works is that you must have one of the SCCM server that is known as state migration point, SMP. And what happens as soon as this is being upgraded, as soon as this machine, before the upgrade, guys, we must understand, because once you upgrade, it might be that this machine will be completely formatted and then installed. If you format it, they will lose all their data. Guys, what happens is just before the upgrade, we will copy everything from here to state migration point. So it will be in users folder. They have their own everything here. Then we'll upgrade it to Windows 7. And once this is done, then we'll move it back to this server. This is known as state migration point. So state migration point works between the upgrade process. As soon as this is about to be upgraded, all the user's personal stuff will be copied in one of the folder in state migration point. And as soon as the upgrade is done, then as soon as it is upgraded to Windows 7, from state migration point, automatically the data will be sent back to Windows 7. So basically, a user will see exactly the same data what was there in XP, and now they can see it in Windows 7.
It's like an external drive.
No, actually it's a complete server with a state migration point. It has a storage of itself. Now how it is done, it can be done in many different ways. But the main purpose of state migration point is to work in between that upgrade. Based on this quick explanation, let's read this here. A site system role that stores user state data when a computer is migrated to a new operating system. So all you need to remember that when this machine is being upgraded to a newer operating system, all users' personal data will be copied in SMP, and from there, once it is upgraded, it will be copied back to the machine. So this is one point. If you're not doing any upgrade, this point is not required. If you're doing it, then it might be used. In some cases, companies won't even use it. They would do manual stuff. They would send their deployment tag to this computer so that they can copy all of the essential information and then do it. Large companies, they use it, they automatically, but in order to handle and manage this, it's very complex. So whoever is doing this in between the upgrade, they must be a SCCM specialist, or they must have tried this hundreds of times before it can be deployed, used in the environment. Now here you have state migration point. Then you have system health validator. Have we ever heard of NAP services in Windows? NAP services in Windows. What is the main function of NAP services? Guys, NAP services in Windows is to check your environment's health. So this is your NAP. So NAP, what NAP does in Windows. NAP's function is that any machine that connects to your network, either from home or either internally, any machine that connects to your network, this should be healthy machine. Healthy means that these machines should not have viruses. This machine should be updated with all security patches. This machine should have the latest antivirus and all that. And who makes sure that all machines that are connected to the network is NAP. NAP is one of the role in 2008 server, 2012 server. So NAP is one of the roles.
Yes, sir.
NAP makes sure that clean machines are connected to your network. My question to you is, if machine is not clean and NAP finds that out, if machine is not clean, healthy, and NAP finds that out, then what happens with this machine?
It's not going to be.
They won't let it connect to the network. So this is what, guys, in SCCM, this is what system health validator does. So system health validator, a system role that validates configuration manager network access protection policies. It must be installed on NAP health policy. This works with NAP role. Also optional roles not used in many places. Then you have Windows Intune connector. If you have Windows Intune license. Now what is Windows Intune? Windows Intune is a Windows cloud, Microsoft cloud, where people can use rented machines, rented VMs. So if your environment is connected to Windows Intune, then this role will help you connect to the Windows Intune. Now guys, these are all of the roles. Now one main point about all these roles. Guys, how many mandatory roles were there? Five mandatory roles. So 5 mandatory roles. These 5 mandatory roles, among 5 mandatory roles, 3 are mandatory and 2 were optional. They weren't mandatory in the first installation. So MP and DP are optional, but they are mandatory in the first installation. So here, let's look at this. Now, so what are the 3 mandatory roles? So there is PS, primary site server is mandatory. And then you have site database, site DB is mandatory. And then you have server component. Server component. Guys, these 3 are known as site servers. These 3 are known as site server roles. They are required as site server roles. Other than these 3, all these other roles are known as site system roles. So all other roles other than these 3 roles, they are known as site server roles. They are site server roles, and all other roles other than this are known as site system roles. In simple words, this is reporting services is a site system role. Site system role. This is a site system role. And then app catalog, it's a site system role. This as site system role. Here you have asset intelligence, site system role.
So basically those three are site server roles and the rest are site system, right?
Yes. So in a very simple definition, if a server if a server is not a primary site or a secondary site or cache, it is a site system role. This is why with all the definitions here, it says a site system role, a site system role, a site system role, a site. So if a server is not a primary site server, it is not a site DB server, it's a site system role. So if there are 20 roles, there are just 3 that are known as site server roles, and all other roles are a site system role. So if you have a DP, if you have a server, so in our architecture, which is this, so in this architecture, this server is a site system server, whereas this server is just a site system role. So wherever you have all other roles and not primary site server or secondary site server or cache, there is a site system role. This is what we need to remember. Guys, in last 5 minutes, I want to give you, I want to show you a quick installation. So I'm going to give you these slides as well. You can go through them. Now in this, when you do the install, so first of all, we must understand our architecture, and it is in the video. I'm going to send you the link as well. Now in this, when you, guys, with SCCM, what did we discuss last time? SCCM, you need to have a lot of patience even during the installation. So SCCM installation, it is done in 3 steps, actually rather 4 steps. First, you build your architecture. So first you'll have to build this architecture here. So first you'll have to build this architecture. What is your architecture? All servers are 2012 and one is Windows 7. And then we're all using these names and these IP addresses. So this is building architecture. First you build them. Once you build it and you set up names and IP address before Active Directory, take a snapshot. So I'm giving you guys milestones where you need to take snapshots. If you don't take snapshots in SCCM, guys, then you'll be stuck in many different issues, and you'll have to rebuild the complete environment. So you have to take your first snapshot right at this level. Once names are done, IP addresses are done. And second snapshot when you install Active Directory and then you join all these 3 machines to Active Directory, this is second snapshot. And before taking the second snapshot, do the basics. Ping by name, ping by IP, and also check all your connectivity. Firewalls are off, and IE enhanced security should be off as well. So this is your second snapshot, and then you start building your environment. Your all SCCM prerequisites goes here except the first 3. So this is Active Directory server, and this one is SCCM server. Now let's look at the prerequisites here. So prerequisites are these. So here, these are all of the prerequisites. So you must complete them before you start SCCM installation. First 3 requisites, which is this one, they go on your DC. So on DC you need to do this. And then rest, they need to be done on your first SCCM server. This is Gary Hampson. His step-by-step labs are here. Once this is all done, then you'll work with SQL installation and then SCCM. Now, now here, let's look at this. So the operating system that you have is this. So you are going to need this CD, which is SCCM 2012 ISO, and the second you're going to need is this SQL. This one. So this is your SQL ISO. With these 2 ISOs, you'll be able to install. And I've already uploaded part 1 of the video where we build the infrastructure. Part 2 of the video is ready where I completed the prerequisites. And for prerequisites, there are 2 ways to do it. One way is to manually do this. You will need to download one by one. And then there is an automatic script that can automatically do it. That is in my video.
No, the
So wind training is SCCM?
distributing it.
Huh? What? What? I've already given it to. It's copying. Make sure you have it before coming here on Monday, guys. Make sure your SCCM is done, installed.